conversations. Let's have real conversations.
Get ready to stir it up.
Life events and everything in between. Let's go.
Get ready to stir it up.
No capping. If guests got you covered right up.
Get ready to stir it up. Stir it up.
Come on.
Get ready to stir it up.
So we're back here again to have the second part of this conversation.
After that lovely cocktail.
After that lovely
Yes.
cocktail. Thank you.
I only drank water.
You needed a second one.
You know those kids who, after mommy has fed them and daddy gets home, what did you? Have you eaten? And he says, no, mommy hasn't fed me. Uh-huh. We're not pointing fingers.
Still.
I think the first part of this conversation has been good because it sets a bit of context for the whole playground or the whole arena of mental health, mental illness, what's happening in Ghana, what's happening with people. We've told a few personal stories there. But now let's come into this conversation, which is the Wholesome Mind Summit. And I want to start with you. So we know how it began, because we know that it started from a personal experience where you said, okay, I want to make a difference. Tell us a bit about what the main goal of this summit is.
Okay. So there's three parts, I'll say. One is to create the awareness and educate the public on the difference between mental health, mental illness, and all the components of it, just so that we can have a better, well-being as human beings.
Okay.
The other part is to provide resources to the public through the initiative so that we can give back. And in addition to that, to promote policy generation. And then finally, to try and minimize the stigma so that people are more comfortable to share the concerns they have and to seek the help they need. Yeah.
So it's interesting that you talk about that because it's quite powerful when you want to teach people about something that they've probably been experiencing, but they've not been able to name or understand. If I was attending the summit, or Joe Blog on the Streets was attending the summit, what is one going to expect? What are the sessions like? Are there breakaways? What are the conversations? What should one expect if you were showing up for this summit?
So every summit has a different dimension to it.
Okay.
So last year we had the summit, we had a theme on workplace mental health.
Okay.
In fact, it was only 2 weeks to the summit that we knew that the theme for the year was mental health in the workplace.
Okay.
We had no idea. But that was because we wanted to draw into the corporate world the need to understand mental health within the workplace and how to manage conditions.
Okay.
And so what we had was, we had a panel discussion which had an HR professional, a lawyer, a clinical psychologist. Dr. Seth was the moderator, he's a clinical psychologist. We had Dr. Bannon, Frank Bannon from Mental Health Authority. And then we had Dr. Sweetie Simpkins, who was a clinical psychologist from Pennsylvania, who flew down for it. And it was important to have them all there so that we had, one, the difference in jurisdictions and what mental health is like and how it's advanced, so we can learn from each other. But then the other professionals were on there to explain, so for the lawyer's point of view, what the Mental Health Act is and the resources available under the law. For HR, it was in the workplace, how to identify mental health conditions, how to navigate it within the workplace, why employee assistance programs were important, And of course, from the psychologists and psychiatrists, they were explaining to us the difference between mental health and mental illness, the different types. So attendees, we had about 250 people in attendance. And they came there feeling, well, anxious to know what is all of this about. But they left there insightful, learning new things. And for me, that's where the satisfaction is that yes, you are able to educate people with the right people who know what they're talking about. Because as a lawyer, I have no background in mental health. And so when I decided to go on this journey, I said, I need to partner and collaborate with people who know the different areas so that we can do it well.
Yeah.
So we had a panel discussion, and then we collaborated with about 15 other corporate entities who brought their employees, and we had breakout sessions, so 10 different breakout sessions. Each session covered a certain aspect of mental health in the workplace. And each breakout session didn't have more than 15 people in there, and it was led by a psychologist or a psychiatrist. And the entire event is curated. So you leave there with an experience, learning new things, connecting with new people, and leaving there empowered with information that you can use for your benefit.
Got it.
After the different workshops we had, we all regrouped into the main hall, and we learned from each group what they spoke about, because each group had their own spokesperson.
So like breakaways.
Yes. And then we came back into the room, and then everybody learned from each other. And once we were done, we went on to the beachfront. So Labadi Beach Hotel are our host partners. And I'm always thankful to David because he's such an advocate for mental health. So we did a beachfront experience, the Wholesome Mind experience, where we had a dance group come, and we had a comedy session, and then networking and engaging in activity. So every activity that was had, the psychologist will explain to you the science behind it and what it does to your brain. So you leave there understanding that I actually need to relax. So it's not a luxury to relax.
Yeah.
It's important to do that. So, I mean, the feedback we got was phenomenal. Everyone who attended was pleased to know that, wow, I didn't know I didn't know there was so much information and resource available that I could tap into to understand more about mental health. So yeah, I think that happened last year. Now this year, the theme has been developed more into cultivating a psychologically safe community for children and adults. I still don't know what this year's theme is. And it is because I'm really just being led to do this. So when the year began, well, we have to do this again because people are benefiting from it. So we thought through it and said, okay, let's get all the age brackets involved. Now, for children, we're focusing on building confidence.
Okay.
For the youth, we're focusing on cultivating self-worth.
Okay. Which is important.
Yes. For adults, work-life balance.
Is there such a thing as work-life balance?
You will know when you attend.
Okay.
And then for the elderly, transitioning into retirement.
Okay.
And so we will have a panel discussion again this year. But the plan is to have a full-day event. So aside the panel discussion, we are partnering with wellness vendors. And so for morning, we would have an exercise session. So participants who registered to attend will come in for some aerobics or some Pilates, just so that you have a feel of it. And you can decide to go home and come back. And then in the afternoon, we have the remaining wellness vendors. So, for example, Labadi Beach Hotel's spa team would have a booth where you can go there, you can learn about why it's important to get massages, how to do simple massages at home. And for a few minutes, you can get a neck and shoulder massage
Okay.
to release tension. We have a virtual reality team that is curating experiences using virtual reality. So you can go in there, you wear the glasses, you go into a different world, and it creates an experience for you that is relieving, as well as other wellness vendors. So once we have that, we have the panel discussion as well. This time around, we're looking to have the audience, after the panel discussion, ask questions within the room. So we wouldn't have the breakout sessions this time.
Got it. Why not?
Because one, it's a Saturday, and you're mindful of people's time, so you're not taking away their entire day. Two, I think that because of the different stages, if you are to have different breakout groups, you're not going to exhaust it. It's going to be a lot of information. Okay. Because last year it was on mental health in the workplace only. But this year, it's on the different stages of life.
Okay.
And so at least you have people in the room who would ask the questions that they feel comfortable to ask. And then the panel will answer those questions. And thereafter, you are able to connect with them and have your experience. But whilst that is going on, we'll have a kids' corner. So children between the ages of 5 and 12 will be engaged in confidence-building activities. And we have Dr. Christine, who is manning that session. And she's curating different activities that helps build confidence. And there's one very interesting activity they are going to do, which is on financial well-being. And somebody asked, well, what has that got to do with children? But money is a component of life.
Yeah.
And it's important at an early age for children to learn how to use money, how to save, so that they can be better adults. So this will be going on alongside the panel discussion.
Understood.
So it is a family event, really.
Got it.
So grandparents, parents,
Yeah.
children, aunties, uncles can all come along. And it's a free event. That's a beautiful
But
part of it.
there are limited number of seats.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's about people who subscribe.
Yes.
How many spots are there?
So last year, when we opened it up to the public, in 4 days, we had 100 people registered. And we had to close it off because we have corporate partners who also support the cause. And once they support, they have an allocation of employees and people they
can
want
come,
to, who they bring along. And so it's important to give them certain slots, and then the rest is for the public. Yes. I don't know if you want to add this part to it. I think the reason we have always waited to have as one event is because there's a cost component of it.
Okay.
And all of this that we plan really self-funded until you get partners to come on board.
Yeah.
So it becomes a bit tricky.
Understood.
Budgetary constraints.
Yes. Which is understandable. So once you know how many you want to put out there, it's just about maybe regulating it and doing it as a way of creating interest and...
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And the other thing we have also tried to do is with the corporate entities that have partnered, we have had sessions with them.
Okay.
So we would go into their office with a psychologist and have conversations with them so they understand what to anticipate when they are coming.
Okay.
So like with what you're saying, I think this year, Dr. Seth actually mentioned that, well, it would be good for us to have like actual therapy sessions. So that is linked to what you're saying, that we have those therapy sessions and even tape them, of course, with their consent.
Okay.
In order to show the publicity leader, well, this session was on this is what we covered. So you won't go through the details of what was discussed, but at least highlighting
some of the...
Yes.
Right.
I think it's becoming my full-time job.
Dr. Seth, so this year,
Yes.
who are some of the people, or what are some of the kinds of experts we should expect to see at the Wholesome Mind Summit?
Every mental health related expert will be there. I will be there.
Okay.
So we'll have psychologists, psychiatrists, psychiatric nurses, we'll have speech and language therapists, child psychologists, religious people, pastors and all.
Yeah.
And all of these people have a role to play in basically just making people understand that when it comes to the concept of mental health, it takes a nation. And there's a part that everybody plays to ensure that it's holistic in nature.
Okay.
So you have the best mental health professionals in Ghana in one place on one day, just for you.
Got it. What kind of audiences are you looking to attract?
Audiences. Okay.
Who do you want to attend this summit?
Everybody.
Yes.
Because
Everybody.
it takes a cross section of the population from children up until older adulthood. Anybody that falls within this range who sees the benefit of what we're doing, we'd like them to be there. If I even if they don't see the benefit, we want them to be there, so they see the benefit afterwards.
Or just even have the knowledge for when they need it.
Absolutely,
Yeah, because at some point in time, you might need that.
absolutely.
Okay. Have you seen the ward you want to adopt?
Oh yes, I have.
Do you want to tell us about the ward?
Well, okay, so the special ward, it was built, of course, the Accra Psychiatric Hospital in general was built as an asylum. So it wasn't built for rehabilitation, it was built to just contain people. And the way the special ward is structured, I mean, I remember the very first time I went to the special ward was in 2010. I just passed out as a psychologist, and we're doing a rotation in Accra Psychiatry. And I remember leaving the place crying because in my mind, if it were my family member having to, and this was not just the special ward, it was, Accra Psychiatry Hospital as a whole. And I'd always felt like I have to champion a cause to change things. The dream fell in water at some point. But thankfully, the Wholesome Mind Summit and Vint and Aditya have come to make this a reality that we are able to actually effect change. I am anticipating that after we have been able to do this significant change, either people may come to us and say, we want you to do more, or people might take it up themselves. And it comes back to the whole concept of if we hold hands to do this. So I am very big on collaborations, saying that one person can do one thing, but a dozen people can do so many more. And I've seen the place. It's not a place for recovery. It's just stay here. It's more like just be restricted in this place. There's a video that we made on that. I think we should share it with you. People might be wanting to see what it looks like. Yeah.
Okay. And in wanting to refurbish the ward, what's the goal? Are there structural changes you're making to change the utility of the place? Because if you're saying it's right now a containment center, do you now change it in terms of what it is from a structural perspective to then make it different?
I mean, in this video, we talk about all of that. The medical director for Accra Psychiatry talks about it as creating what they call a psychiatry intensive care unit, as what they're describing. And I think some of the key features that makes it stand aside as something that can be an intervention or something that we can use in treatment is the fact that beyond the walls and the bathrooms being refurbished, you're going to have play areas, fully functional, like sitting area for family and friends, places where people can engage and play little games like board games. I think there's a tennis court,
a basketball
court, just for recreation, like as in occupational therapy related stuff. Yeah. And I think those things are very powerful. Now, one other thing they mentioned, which is very important, is the creation of a chamber for the mental health tribunal. So for people who have mental health related issues that have issues relating to involuntary admissions, etc., the tribunal can facilitate that process very quickly and help with the lay person who might not have the luxury of going to get a lawyer, to get someone to get treatment as a result of
So it being
poor
housed
insight.
in there then
Exactly.
speeds
Yes.
up the process.
Exactly.
Yes. Got it.
Yes, and in addition to that, they're also creating like a noise cancellation room, so where patients can go and relax, calm down, like a calming corner, but it's actually a whole room dedicated to that. Because from what I've found out, we don't have too many of those.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I just want to point something. So, because I work in prayer camps with people who have mental health related issues, one thing that used to stand out was we used to go to the prayer camps and then, give medication. And as the patients got better from our medication, they got depressed. And people wondered why. Because they became aware of the environment. And that environment was just not conducive. So they started asking questions like, how can I be in a place like this? Now, by renovating that place and making it wholesome, that I believe will also add up to the recovery process. Because a wholesome environment means that the mind also recognizes some dignity, which I think is a powerful thing.
Dignity is definitely a powerful thing. It's almost like I've not been thrown in the back of nowhere.
Exactly.
I can imagine when you say dignity and just feeling not isolated, feeling that you've not been left on a mountain somewhere and you're looking around yourself and seeing all these people and saying, but where are the people that I know?
On the issue of dignity is that it also, the construction will make sure that there's a better nurses, quarters or offices, which also makes the professionals also have a sense of dignity that, we're being taken care of. And if that doesn't motivate them to do more, then we are in crisis. But I believe that would.
The interesting thing about the special ward is that it's a ward dedicated to men who are going through the criminal justice system. And so when they are accused of a certain condition or crime, and they plead some sort of mental health condition, they are taken there to be taken care of. But when they go there, they don't come back.
It's like a prison of sorts.
Yes. And that whole idea is going to be changed. So there's not going to be any special ward anymore. Because bringing them there from a prison to a prison, how are they going to get better? And to touch on the issue of dignity, their current isolation rooms do not have bathrooms. And so everything happens there. So they are left with the nurses to clean after themselves, or they clean after themselves. Imagine, and these are not children.
Fully grown men.
Fully grown men. That alone can kill someone's dignity. So those are some of the changes that we're really looking to change with the renovation.
That's a lot, eh? It's heavy.
You want to watch the documentary.
That's a lot. Okay. So as you partner and you drive an initiative like this, there are often a lot of governance-related requirements to make sure it's done in an ethical fashion, in a fashion that is safe, but also more importantly, that's transparent. Because we've seen many people do things like this, and it goes in all sorts of different directions in terms of the funds that are raised, in terms of the quality of the final build, in terms of, and this is a difficult question because this is a very noble thing. But what are you putting in place to make sure that this is done and done right?
Thank you so much for that question, because it's very important. When we left the Accra Psychiatric Hospital on that 14th of February, and this idea came up, that was the same question I asked myself, because for me, my integrity is at stake as an individual. And I'm a lawyer. And so if I do anything wrong, my license can be taken away from me. So what I thought was important is to get an accountability partner. And so we wrote to KPMG, and they were very happy to come on board as accountability partners. In addition to that, we are not in the construction field. And so we got an architectural firm, ARK Properties Limited, and then we got Keen Developers, who was a construction firm, to come together to handle the renovation. And KPMG, as accountability partner, will vet all payments that are made and will report to the public on what the funds have been used for. So that there's transparency and there's accountability. So their work actually doesn't begin when the renovation begins, but it has already begun.
Got it.
Because for every donation that is given, KPMG handles the account and see what comes in. So every month we display to the public what exactly we have received. We also send personal messages to everyone who has donated. Say thank you, acknowledging it, and they get a receipt for it.
Got it.
In addition to that, when the renovation is completed, there will be a donor wall. So everyone who donates, you have your name there. So you know that your money was used towards this. So these are some of the measures we've put in place, because I really want to make sure that the money is used for what has been asked for. And because of our personal interest, we personally gave the first seed fund of 100,000 so that we can encourage others to give the amount. Because what Keen Developers did was put a budget together of 4 million Ghana cedis, which is about $270,000. I know the exchange rate of about 15 at that time.
So now it's gone up.
Yes, to do the renovation. So we are really hoping and praying for God to give us more funds so that by October 11th, we can announce the amounts we've raised. But aside money, we're also writing and looking for donations from companies. So it's not just about the money that will be used, but if companies will give us. And we have...
So is that for like technical and institutional support? So is it like even with materials and so on?
Yes.
Got it.
And with all of that, KPMG has a system and
to compute and quantify what it is.
And Accra Psychiatric Hospital also has a space that will be used as a warehouse. So every donation will be placed there. Yes.
Got it.
So there will be all-round accountability, tracking of everything.
So is it safe to say that your fundraising goal is 4 million cedis?
Yes.
Okay.
4 million cedis plus.
We're okay with that. We hear you on that. Okay. So it's clear that beyond raising the funds, you're also looking for partners, and these could be technical partners as well.
Yes.
How can people partner or donate or contribute to this cause?
So Cal Bank was kind enough to open the account. So for the local Ghanaians, or even international, you can always transfer to the account. And they also have a short code that has been created. Aside that, Express Pay partnered with us, so they have created a global payment link that is very easy to navigate. You don't necessarily need to have an Express Pay account. You can just click on the link and you make the donation and go straight to the account. We've also worked on a GoFundMe account so that, because we had foreign donors saying, we want an easier way to be able to raise funds. Yeah, to be able to contribute, yes. And so we worked on that as well. And what we try to do is constantly inform the public of how much we've raised so far, so that it can encourage, people to donate.
Okay. Seth, As you've been doing Wholesome Mind Summit, all these initiatives tend to be faced with different struggles and different things that you have to deal with. What would you say have been some of the speed bumps or little hurdles that you and Lady Anne and the team have had to kind of go over?
I think it's largely been collaborations.
Okay.
And of course, it's not all the systems that are as passionate as the individuals driving it. But the reality is, I think the passion from the key partners is usually enough to keep pushing on to get these collaborations and also to get people to understand what we're doing. Because technically, we need the media advocacy. We need the professional collaborations from other institutions that are mental health related. And it's not been smooth sailing. I must say, some people have been very forthcoming and helpful, but these collaborations, also because we want to do it and do it right, has been sometimes a little, it's a speed run. But as usual, you slow down and you get over the speed run.
Yeah. And that's why I call it the speed run. Because it's also important, the lens through which you look at it also influences how you deal with it.
Yeah.
If you look at it as like a minor situation that you need to get over, then you're also gentle with yourself, but also more delicate in the approach that you use to navigate it, rather than being a bit brutal.
Absolutely.
And so on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, looking to the future, as a mental health advocate in this, because you're both a mental health professional, but you're a big-time advocate. What is it that you wish for the Wholesome Mind Summit?
The plans are grand, though.
Big plans.
But I suppose that I'm also someone that believes in process.
Yeah.
So we did stage 1. Stage 2 is that we're putting not just the words, but we're putting actions also to it in a simple renovation, as I would call it. In the future, it shouldn't be a renovation. It should be a whole project started on its own to do so much. But more importantly for me is that people would come to embrace mental health a little more and advocate for mental health on their own without any prompting, because they have some experience or they see the benefits that through somebody else, someone with a mental health challenge or someone working in the field would have gained. So I am hoping that with every year, there's more sophistication and more benefits that we're giving to a larger group of people. And that would be really my prayer.
Great. I know why this matters to you, because you've talked about it quite a bit. What's keeping you going on the days that it gets hard? Because I'm sure some days get hard.
Yeah. I think that the passion, and I just always feel led to continue moving, because I always say nothing happens by coincidence or by chance. It's not for anything that it just came to mind to do. And so if the first time we had it, there was a theme that I didn't know was even the theme for the year, and starting the year, I didn't know what the theme was, but it came. I think that there's a God factor.
You're onto something.
Change. Yes. But I just want to allow it to grow.
Okay.
Yes. And take it one day at a time. And the most important thing for me is the impact.
What does Ghanaians embracing mental health look like for you?
I think for them it's a gradual process.
But what does it look like? So if you're looking at the end, and Ghanaians have embraced mental health,
Oh, okay. What am I hoping that
it would look like? Yeah.
That it would be okay to have a conversation about mental health. It would be okay for somebody to open up, to say, I'm dealing with this and I need help. without being double-eyed, without over-spiritualizing it, and easily get the help they need. I think that it should be normalized. I don't think it's normalized. And that is what I want.
Okay. Seth?
I agree with her. And I think that there should be also a lot of encouragement for people to want to get into that field and feel that they are rewarded adequately, or it's a rewarding place to be in. Though we say that many mental health professionals go in there for passion, yes, sustenance is also a key thing. So that's also an important avenue.
Throwing this out there, would you be open to having this summit online, virtually, this year?
So the first time we had
Since it's
this
free anyway.
conversation- Yes. So one thing I found out about mental health discussions is that it needs some connection. So for example, if we were to have a conversation, and that is why the breakout sessions were important. If you have more than 30 people in the room on a particular topic,
You lose people.
and people are afraid because of our culture to ask questions. And so that was the reason why we held off virtual. But the world is going virtual anyway. So we are not opposed to virtual, but the way, because you also have to remember that looking at the legal aspect of it.
So I hear you on making the choice as to whether to do virtual or not. I think even if you can't do the whole summit as virtual, maybe consider doing some parts of it as virtual, because the reach could be incredible. As you're just creating a certain sense of sensitization and awareness. Maybe it could be the plenary. That could be 1 hour of it being virtual.
Yeah.
For the rest of the other 1 million people who don't fit into your 300 people in the room, well done. Thank you so much for asking us to have this important conversation. We are making progress in the right direction, I would say. And mental health is one of those things we should be making progress on. And on behalf of all the people struggling, I want to say thank you to you, Lady Anne. And I want to say thank you to you, sir.
And we want to say thank you to you too.
Yes. I want to say a big thank you to you for opening your doors and for allowing us to have the conversation.
Stir It Up meets Wholesome Mind Summit.
Yes.
It does.
We're excited.
And to those listening, I think that I hope everybody learns at least one thing listening to us. And for those struggling, that they see it as it's okay, they're not alone, and they see an opportunity to talk to someone and to realize that there's nothing wrong with getting the help where you need help. All the best with the summit.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll keep staring at it.
Get ready to